All right, welcome to the On My Back Packers Preview Podcast. We're previewing the Packers Cowboys games this week. I'm your host, Mike Wahle. You can find me on Twitter at MikeWahle68. Co-host, Packers all-time leading rusher, Ahman Green is here. Ahman, how we doing, bud?
Man, I'm doing good, man. Just getting through the week. Another Thursday, and it's crazy weather here. It is 80 degrees in Green Bay right now, bro.
That's what I've been hearing, man. The East Coast is all over that too, right? It's been like
Super
70, 80
warm.
degrees. Yeah, in November.
Yep.
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it just lets you know global warming is real. If you're not paying attention, then you gonna get surprised in about 5 to 10 years and be like, why is it 90 degrees in Wisconsin in January? That's where we're going. That's
I was
what's
just,
going on.
that's another topic altogether. But hey,
Oh,
before we get
100%.
started, man, let's give a shout out to our BetOnline AG, our sponsors. BetOnline, basketball's back, and BetOnline remains your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. You'll always find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. And as your continued source for all sports wagering information, BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and giveaways all season long. Always the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports and events, whether that's NFL, NBA, NHL, MMA, tennis, boxing, golf, or esports, right? Esports AG, here we are.
For sure.
Would you just talk about the guy who invented Oculus, got an Oculus that can kill somebody?
Yes,
Out.
it doesn't make
out.
sense.
But head to betonline.ag today and join AG. Head to betonline.ag to join and receive your 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure you use the promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, to receive your rewards. BetOnline, where the game starts. Let's start, you and I, with this. Jeremy Fowler.
Yes.
ESPN.
Know the guy. Know
yesterday,
of the guy. Yes.
Reports. No listed sources. Here, I think it's hearsay. The criticism of the receivers, talking about the Green Bay receivers, isn't sitting well, given Aaron Rodgers' decision to not attend voluntary offseason workouts. Now, before you give me let me give you my 2 cents here.
Gotcha.
This is complete garbage. There's my 2 cents. Who sitting well with whom? First of all, and second of all, if Aaron Rodgers doesn't go to voluntary workouts, that doesn't mean that you have an excuse to not know how to run the routes, to get pushed off the ball, to run your routes incorrectly, to not catch when the catches are there to be made. One has
100%.
absolutely nothing to do with the other, and I love how certain people in the media. They're so desperate to get clicks and clickbait this stuff that they put out something like it's not sitting well without saying not sitting well with whom, and being scapegoats to all these things, and not acknowledging that, hey, maybe we don't need our quarterback to put in work.
Right. Yeah. These headlines like this, or like you say, clickbait is the name to them. It's just somebody just bored and maybe wants to get a little bit of attention. And I mean, the players know, regardless of what's going on with the team, good or bad. You come into training camp, mini camp, ready to go, and that is a personal thing. So just because one person is not there, when Brett did not show up, which he did several times during the latter part of his career when I got here, I still had to, take handoffs from somebody and hold on high and tight and make the reads. And same with the wide receivers, Donald and Javon and Robert, Antonio. Those guys were still running their routes. And once Brett got here to training camp, everybody was still who they were. They could get open, catch ball, stuff like that.
We had mini camps. We didn't have OTAs.
Right.
I always go back to this. How did we even survive without having to be there all offseason training and meetings? How did we learn the entire playbook and get better? Like this stuff is so it's so absurd. We go back to it. And now, of course, because they're not playing well, he's not the one who wasn't there off season. Dude, there wasn't a single quarterback in the National Football League in the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s that was working out at the facility in April with their teammates. And nobody was doing it. Everybody managed to get good. And the way that remember KJ Moore? We have him on this, your friend, KJ Moore from the Vikings.
Osborne, KJ Osborne.
Sorry, KJ Osborne. He goes down, he goes to the House of Athletes and trains with a bunch of badass wide receivers in Florida and gets better that way. There's ways to do it. This because this turns into the narrative, right?
Yeah.
This turns into the narrative.
So people are going to be reciting this over and over again because it's something to point a finger at. It's something to lay some information on stat-wise on why the Packers are on a 5-game losing streak. And it's like, no, right now they just all on the wrong page. And together, collectively, they're getting their butt kicked, and now they got to figure it out together.
Right. Right.
That's it. Pretty much.
And it's like I said to somebody else today. I was like, "Welcome to." So you and I have been on other teams that are not the Green Bay Packers,
Yes.
right?
It's
And
reality.
I mean, with quarterbacks that are not Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, with
Correct.
backup quarterbacks. I had to play with David Carr one year that all he wanted to do was play Xbox. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
so I laugh. I go, man, this is how the rest of this is how 20, 23 teams in the league deal with life every year. Like, they're always frustrated with the passing game. They're always frustrated with the protection. They're always frustrated with their offense is never producing enough. Just
Put work in.
it's the world you live in, but it's up to the individual to show up and realize, like, I'm my own man. This is my profession. I don't care if the guy's here or not. I'm going to get my stuff together and get it ready.
Right.
It has nothing to do with whether or not so and so. And again, it's all hearsay, but the fact that you bring it up so we talk about it, just whatever.
Yeah, it taps my high too. It's like
the truth is we did play. This is rock bottom. This is what rock bottom feels like. You just played
100%.
You just played a 9-point game against the league's worst defense.
32 in the lead, and you're going to it's
couldn't get off the ball. Can't beat press coverage. We're now 17 points per game, 27th in the league. We are averaging 4.8 yards per carry. We are 120 yards a game rushing, which is good for 14th in the league. But I think everybody will agree that's not anywhere where we should be given the talent we have, particularly with Aaron Jones right now in the backfield. But let's just talk about this, man. We've been in these situations before.
Mm-hmm.
What's the mood? So you lose the game, and you lose a game to a team that, by all accounts, you should have won. On every
100%.
statistical measure, you should have won, right?
Yep.
And you lose it. You go in, you realize you only scored 9. Like, game plan didn't work. The defense is now looking at you like, dude, we gave up 15 points. We gave you the ball at the 25-yard line off of Alexander's pick.
Yep.
So, like, net, we gave up 12. You know what I mean? You start going like, dude, do something. So when you go into game plan on Wednesday, you're a player. You're Ahman Green. You're an All-Pro. You go into Wednesday's game plan. What do you need to see for you to go like, okay, I'm all on? Because there's weeks, and it doesn't mean it's going to turn out or not, but there's weeks where we see the game plan and we're like, oh shoot, like we got problems.
Yeah.
Right. What do you need to see this week?
What I need to see is plays that put the best players that are playing in their best positions to win. And I know I've seen a few seasons, only a few seasons. I mean, really only one season, maybe 1 week where we had a game plan in Green Bay where I'm like, why are we changing everything for the defense that we're facing?
Right.
What the hell? And in other places, well, I'll say Houston, it was literally the whole 07 season. I'm like, why are we adjusting every week to the defense? We should be running what we're doing to make them.
We're dictating, not adjusting.
Exactly. We dictate to the defense. We dictate to the defense by doing our play action, by running the ball, by running our deep routes and medium routes to make them adjust to what's working for us. So no, I mean, very few times here in Green Bay, but a lot in Houston. And the mood would be for me is that seeing something where I'm like, okay, this works. I like it. Because it gets the ball in my hands as a running back. Because you got Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon. You may not have Aaron Jones. He's beat up right now. So hopefully AJ Dillon. You got Kalen Hill coming off the bench. Is going to help out. Who is, obviously he's going to be fresh legs. That might be the bonus there. But something to where, like I said, it'll be exciting to see an offense where, okay, we got guys running routes. We got these plays that I know is going to be a positive play when it happens.
So do you internalize it to your room and what you can bring? Because the only thing I would say is you had a much better team in Green Bay than you did in Houston. So the reason that your thought process is, hey, I'm Ahman Green. I'm the guy. I've got this offensive line in front of me. I got a quarterback behind me. I got Javon Walker. I got Bubba Franks. I got Will Henderson's blocking for me. You're going, hey, I don't care who we play. Like, we know what we're good at, and we're going to find a way to do what we're good at, and we do it better than you do. And we're just going to say we're better than you. Right. We're going to we're going to disguise things. It's not like we're going to go out there and be like completely concrete.
Yeah.
Right. But we're basically saying this is who we are. We're not going to deviate who we are for you. In the Houston Texans, in the 07 game, they don't feel that way. They're thinking we don't have the talent. Okay. So what do we do? What I'm asking you is, with this team and this talent and what they're demonstrating, guys can't get off press. Guys don't win in man. Right.
Yeah.
Pass protection's not great. Running game's not great. What do you like? What are you? Is the expectation the same? Do you just like, hey man, we got to be the same people all the time, or do you think like, all right, maybe we have to adjust to, for example, Dallas's number one defense is press man coverage. They run it like almost 50% of the time, and they're damn good at it too.
Yes, they are.
And they got guys that can get after the passer. So what is like knowing that, just knowing that right there, I just said two things. They can get after the passer. They got like 30 sacks already.
Mm-hmm.
And they play press man more often than anybody else in the National Football League. And they got a guy who just racks up picks and passes defended in Diggs.
Yeah, Diggs.
So what off of that, what do you want to see this week?
So I want to see the run game get going. That's pretty much it. That slows down the pass game and defensive end linebackers trying to get sacks and double move plays in terms of routes. Since you can't get open, make them a double move. Get
and
Diggs.
What does Diggs do?
Diggs, he jumps on the first. As soon as you plant, he's breaking on the ball. So that's why he's the pick leader. But then that's sometimes a good quarterback to offensive coordinator, good receiver talk and say, hey, we got double move him right now. And you've seen it in the last season. He got beat a few times in a few games because he was biting so hard on the first move on that wide receiver. I believe the Rams game last year when they had Odell, things like that would happen because players are talking, players are paying attention. What's going on? I got this DB who's hungry, who's a ball hawk. Boom, boom, give me, double move out and up or whatever.
Yep.
Boom, and you're open. So
he was feast or famine last year, right? He was like tops in picks and also tops in yards allowed.
Yep.
And he's better this year. But let's before we get into that, let me ask you this, okay? So everyone, you read the paper and ESPN, everything. Should there's talk
I know
about Aaron Rodgers. And okay, the contract situation, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Should we play Jordan Love? Now I have a very, very specific opinion on this. I don't want it to cloud yours. So let's hear, like, what do you think about, you have a $50 million a year quarterback who's a 4-time MVP, and people are talking about, let's play the other guy to see what we have, because apparently we haven't seen enough, even though you've seen him in practice every day and you've seen him in games. Like,
right.
What do you say?
That's not the moment. It's not the time. They still have a chance of a new, from wins and losses between now and the end of November, where you'll know by the end of November if they're in the playoffs or not. So for me, until that time where games have been lost, that's when we maybe make a change later, even later into the season, 2-3 games left to put my guy on the shelf, but not until then. So
if it was December and you were 3-11.
Oh yeah, Jordan's going in.
Is Ahman Green not playing the game anymore?
From like personally, it'd be hard.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well,
it'd be hard.
So why like how do you not okay? Are they giving Tony Fisher more reps? Like, do we not know what Tony Fisher is? Shout out to Fish, by the way. You're awesome. I'm just saying, like, we already know what he is.
Yeah.
Like so with Jordan Love, I'm just like, my thing is like, what for what?
And I think the difference is the fact of the position, and what is demanding, and also what that position carries. Because obviously that's a $50 million quarterback, compared to first round draft pick, and then you look past that. As a player, I'm looking at the experience, and that's why I'm thinking, okay, they want to. If it's rumors coming up, but it'll be later in the season for me as a player coach to say, hey, let's put Jordan in, let's get him some live reps against some number one defenses, that then when we come the next year when we have both competing, then we let them compete.
What do you mean
competing for a starting job? Because I would do that.
Aaron Rodgers competed for a starting job with Jordan Love?
Oh yeah, I say come next year.
No, AG. As long as Aaron Rodgers has all four limbs.
No, I know.
Jordan Love is never going to beat him out. I mean,
no, I know.
I always look at it this way because we're players. If I'm a guard, okay, and I don't even catch the ball. If I'm a guard, I don't want to play with a rookie or a third-year guy who's never played before. I want to play with the best quarterback in the league. Even if he's not having a down year, I ride with my guy because he gives us the best chance to be successful. You, as a running back who receives passes, a receiver, a tight end, anybody who plays on offense, we have careers too. If it was one of those things where we literally had never seen Jordan Love play, I still wouldn't be great with it, but I would understand it.
Yeah.
But you kind of already know what you have, right?
Yeah.
Like you see him every day in practice.
Definitely knowing what we have, yes.
Yeah. This isn't like when Brett was waffling and they're like, hey, we got this dude, Aaron Rodgers, who is going to be the deal. Dude, the minute he walked in the building and started slinging the ball around in practice, I got phone calls from linemen, dude, this guy is legit. Like, he can throw the ball.
Yeah.
Like, the buzz was there. It's
Mhm.
not there with this guy. And
Yeah.
he might be a solid pro. He might be a top 15, top 20 quarterback in the league, but he's not top 5.
No.
And so, like, unless Aaron Rodgers walks in and says, "You guys, I'm out of here after next year, dude. You guys cap hit, whatever. I'm out.
Yeah.
Like, you can
Yeah.
take the $50 million. I don't need it. You know, I whatever the ayahuasca or whatever doesn't cost that much. I'm good. Like, unless unless he does that, like, dude, you're playing. You are our team captain. You're our leader. You're playing. All this other stuff to me is like, you're just trying to create. It's like the difference between making progress and creating movement. You're just creating movement right there to look like you're busy. Like, you're not getting any. You're not learning. What are you really going to learn? Oh, he made a couple good plays. Like, we already know.
Yeah, we know what Jordan. We know what Aaron is, and yeah, no, I agree with that.
Okay, so the Packers are 5-point underdogs this week. AG, let's switch gears. Sorry, so I get too passionate about that. The whole idea is just it just doesn't even make sense to me, because I'm always like, dude, I get paid to do a job. I'm gonna do a job as best I can. You're not gonna take me out.
Yep.
You know. Okay, so Gary's out for the year.
Yep.
That's terrible. I mean,
that is not good.
Yeah, we're 15th in the league right now in yards per game, or in points per game, at 20.9. We're 26th in rushing, which is not where we want to be, 130. But again, a lot of that has to do with the fact that it's been close games where the complete playbook is open to teams like the Chicago Bears, the Detroit Lions, these teams that have run against us. Is it time for, well, first of all, Isaiah McDuffie, who we highlighted in the last game, played really well. He's kind of getting some praise right now. Obviously, Rudy Ford was the guy that we've highlighted as a guy who's been a solid tackler in a secondary that hasn't been great tacklers. I think Bari's going to get his chance. Like,
he's going to get some game.
This is interesting. And
he's showing up a little bit too in some of the matches, some of the games that's been earlier this season.
Especially in the pass rush, right?
Yep.
Especially in the pass rush.
He knows how to get to the quarterback.
He got that BS call that Hansen.
Oh my God, that was terrible.
Worst call in the league.
Yeah, on golf, that was not good.
But maybe this is the opportunity to put Ford in and say, listen, like, we have protection issues with Ford. We have coverage issues with Ford. Yeah, we have coverage issues with Savage too.
Yeah.
Maybe it's time. Everyone talks about how good Savage would be in the nickel. If Stokes is out, maybe we move him, right? You know, maybe if our middle linebacker is out again, maybe we get another week with McDuffie. Maybe McDuffie starts bringing, because McDuffie did something last week that we haven't seen, in particular from Quay. And again, Quay's going to be a great player, but Quay's making a lot of when there's a blocker in front of him.
Yeah.
There's a lot of tackles being made 8 or 9 yards down the field. Isaiah McDuffie gets in the hole. And again, dude, old school football, you and me, we want to have contact in the hole. I want to see a block shed. I want to see you make a tackle in the hole. If you can do that, great. If you can't, like, you're valuable because you're an athlete, right? And you're going to learn. But that dude's doing it right now in his second year. Let's get him in the game.
Yeah, fast too. It's there.
I think Gary being out's, like, honestly, like, the absolute worst case scenario for the game.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, darn it. I said, man, it went from bad to worse. Because he was a guy that he could take over, as we've seen this season, take over a game defensively by himself. He had got to that level, and now
run and pass too, right?
Yep,
like,
run and pass.
He's not as good as Preston in the right. He's a good run defender, but
exactly. So now with him being out, it's just going to have to. I say for obviously in game, in season, it's like, look, we got next man up. That mentality, is there, and then, but for the Rashard healing up, getting surgery done, and then be back to top form come mid-season next year. So got to wait on that now.
We got that Ricky Tyler Smith playing left tackle at the Cowboys, and then you have Terrence Steele, who is I think it may be a third-year guy. But I mean, they're playing well. Joe Philbin's over there, but you just think, like, God, Rashawn Gary could have had a day. He could have had a day.
Yep.
So let's talk about these Cowboys, AG. So Mike McCarthy better than I do. He's coming back. Joe Philbin's on that staff. Big rubble double. Rob Davis is the assistant head coach on that staff. Big rubble double.
Rubble double.
Oh, how about Rob Davis being an assistant head coach?
I know. I wouldn't. Yeah, that's big. Hey, congratulations.
For guys who don't know, Rob Davis was the player. He was our long snapper. He's just the guy. He's the glue. He's a locker room guy.
Yep.
He became a player engagement, player development guy in Green Bay. Mike McCarthy is one of his, he's one of the very, trusted guys of Mike McCarthy. Mike brought him down and made him an assistant head coach because Rob's the kind of dude that is I guarantee he's the glue of the whole building.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee he's that guy. And I couldn't be happier for him, miss him, proud of the job they're doing.
Yep.
Dude, then I looked and Al Harris is on
Al,
the staff,
yes.
man.
Ooh, he was at KC for a long time. And then they brought him down.
That's right, yeah.
They brought him down to Mike McCarthy brought him in year one with him in Dallas. So saw him last year when he got inducted to the Packer Hall of Fame. And a lot of respect for Al, man, from the time I met him as a Packer. I know he played for the Eagles first, but I remember his training camps, the way he warmed up to the way he practiced was a lot of respect between him and I. And we would have conversations. He'd be like, we'd be like, hey, he would ask me questions, how hard are you going today? I'm like, I'm 100% every day. And he's like, okay, just checking. Just want to know if you was taking, no, I'm never taking an off day, especially in training camp to get ready for a game. So we had those conversations because we knew what we had to do to get ready for Sundays. And he was one of those guys.
Al's probably most famous for that Matt Hasselbeck pick six,
100%
right, in the playoff game. But yeah, I feel the same.
I ran to him after that. When Matt said that, I'm like, "This Matt, he just went stupid for a second." Al Harris, the first guy I ran to the sidelines. I said, "Al," and I didn't realize that the mic was there, and the whole stadium heard him. So I go to Al and say, "Al, did you?" He just said that he's gonna get the ball and score. He said, "No, AG, I got it. I'm about to end this game right now." That's what he said to me right before he caught that pass. I was
Al's
like,
a pro's pro, man.
Yeah.
I remember Al came in and he was like, we knew him because, you kind of know. Back then, there wasn't that many guys who had dreads popping out of the back of their hair. He was in Philly, he was playing nickel corner, and we brought in this nickel corner. And most guys are nickel corner. Like back in the day, it was like they're their third corner. And now you start realizing like they might be your best corner, right?
Yeah.
And Al was that guy. He came in and he took the job opposite Chi-Town Mike. And dude,
take it away.
I was the same way. Like day one, I was like, dude, this guy could play. He was breaking up passes, getting on Javon, getting on Donald. On day one with Brett's, anytime anybody did anything against us on defense, when we were with Brett in the passing game, we were always like, oh man, this kid
showed up.
Can play. Yep. So yeah, big fan of his. Really happy for him. But the other guy they have there is a guy I did some work for a couple years ago, Dan Quinn.
Yeah, he's been around Seattle. Atlanta.
Dan is obviously started with Pete Carroll and that big that Seahawks team in Seattle, but Dan is he just gets guys like people love him. He's just got that personality, and these guys are playing hard for them. Now here's a couple stats on these guys. They're number 3 in the league at 16.6 points per game. They're +8 in the turnover margin. We talked about Diggs, but they got guys all over the board that can make plays.
Wow.
They play about 50%. They're playing man-free cover 1. Okay. And everybody in the group is the first thing everyone's going to talk about, how do we stop Micah Parsons? And we got Yosh Nijman, we got hopefully Bakhtiari or if it's not Bakhtiari, that conversation's real. And he does start at middle linebacker and he moves around and they really, really do a good job of utilizing him. But Micah Parsons, he's got 9 tackles for loss, 8 sacks. Dante Fowler Jr., who, remember him from Florida, drafted by the Jacksonville Jaguars, blew his knee out for training camp. He's got 4 sacks. DeMarcus Lawrence, 4 sacks. Dorrance Armstrong Jr., who I didn't even know existed until I was watching tape, 5 sacks. You know what I mean? They're just these guys can play, and they got safeties making sacks. They got picks everywhere. I mean, these guys just are ball hawks. And so when you turn, they're just so aggressive at every level. We put some tape together. Like, let's just start with this, man. When you watch
7 guys over 4 sacks.
Yeah, I mean, that's a hell of a thing. And the number one thing, and the reason I put these plays in AG is just watch these guys just play hard. Watch DeMarcus Lawrence run into the ball here. Yep, they just hawk the ball, and they're not great in run defense. I think they're in the 24, 26 in run defense. But watch 90 run to the ball here, overcome that down block, that crack block. That action is still open for the Green Bay Packers. But now you see it in the passing situations. They got stand-up guys. Micah Parsons against that left tackle, making play. I mean, they get this screen off. Watch them chase the ball down. I mean, look at this.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys are
and the ball just barely got back to the line of scrimmage on that.
Yep. I mean, they put in work. You see some of this stuff as an offensive lineman, as a center, you got to make the right call. You got to know who you're protecting. And then all of a sudden, you got guys hawking you down against some really good running backs in the Chicago Bears. Now, here's some stuff that we can do.
Get to the
They
edge.
are small. And from a run defense perspective, they are vertical guys. They're smaller guys. You can move around. Their linebackers aren't huge. Parsons is a middle linebacker playing out at the edge. I mean, there's you can move bodies.
Mm-hmm.
You can move spaces. If you do pre-snap motion, you look at the
Vander Esch
Philadelphia.
too. He's a speed guy, but he's not real big.
Yeah, you look at these plays, like these gap plays are open for business. If they're gonna play this kind of defense when they got 7 in the box and you can pull 2 guys and really they got an overhang with number 6. You think, I mean, this stuff is just ripe for the taking.
That look like 96 power right there.
Yeah. I mean, but it's like 16 gap, right? It's like 16 gap.
Yep.
Yeah, with the double pull. We saw this last week. You run those kick plays and you just put it on their corners to get out there and make. I think the big thing when you think about the Green Bay Packers and how to find success, it's like Aaron Jones or AJ Dillon versus corners is always a good thing, right? Now this is Swift from the Detroit Lions running the kick play that everybody plays, but this is the stuff that wins. You look on the passing side because these guys are so aggressive and they're ball hawks and they're going to play man free. It's like the good news is, AG, it's like Dan Quinn's playing the Seattle defense, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to go back. We're going to play single high. We're going to play man or match, right? Cover 3 or cover 1. And we're going to get after you up front. Like they don't have, they're Michael Bennett, Michael Parsons, you start doing, but at least you kind of know what you're going to get, right?
Exactly. You got Tay Diggs as, what's his name? Richard Sherman or the other big safety. I can't think of his name right now.
Cam Chancellor. Yeah.
Yeah. Cam Chancellor. Yep.
Boy, Cam was good, huh? So one of the things that's important about this team, and like for fans out there, when you're watching the game, if we can get the more people you can get out and pass in routes, obviously, the better off you are. Like that's true for anything. The problem is being able to protect. But when you're always running man, or when you're running man 50% of the time, like that's even more true because accountability all of a sudden becomes not into zones, but like I cannot lose my individual matchup. And if you start increasing that number, the chances of somebody losing get higher and higher and higher. And all you see right here, very simply, is they release that back in the backfield because the Eagles can protect. And that linebacker just for 1 second hesitates, and they're out the gate for another. That's a 15, 20-yard gain. That's a big play.
That's a problem. It's keeping the defense honest. They trying to play the man. It's like, so okay, we'll make that adjustment. We'll leak a back out, maybe hesitate, like what we saw in that last play, hesitated the linebacker, but always having somebody en route matching up with the DBs that are in coverage.
Yes, sir. So you see the matchup here. 27 walks down and mugs over the tight end, and Jared Goff makes a great throw here. But this is off play action. We've been talking about this for months. It seems like under center play action, or if you're going to go shotgun play action, let's move somebody on the line. Let's pull a guard. Let's move the entire group one way or the other to really give a run cell and create that space behind those linebackers. You see, they do a great job here. I think they pull the left guard. Those linebackers step up, and all of a sudden we have that window of opportunity. Goff has to make a great throw here, but this is the kind of stuff that is going to be open. You think about, you put Tunyon there. Can Tunyon get open on the crosser off of this kind of play? Yeah, I think so, because we're not creating a ton of separation. We're going to have to really take advantage of these linebackers with that play action look and create these windows where we know Aaron Rodgers can make these throws.
Especially this tight end is beating this DB. So that tells you right there that Tunyon will have opportunity to get open. Nice little push off.
Now that is I was going to say that is Hockenson. He's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. Still don't know why they send him to Minnesota.
So this is an early down play, and they're playing off, and this game isn't out of hand yet. We look at the slot, and again, one thing about Dan Quinn, man, his team is really well coached. I'm going to back this up because it's kind of subtle. I want you to watch the slot defender. He's reading this route. In other words, he's seen. So for fans out there, he's seen this formation. He's seen this look. He's seen this situation on tape, and he's trying to jump this route.
Yeah.
He gets that hezzy. You see how he dives in, and again, gives up big plays. So what does that mean for us? Like, you have to break some tendencies.
Yes, you do, because he's reading it. He's been watching film.
And then, of course, man, like when you're a team that gets upfield, rushes the passer, plays man cover free, like, AG, what are our favorite plays in the world, man?
Screenplays.
Screens to Ahman. Screens to
dang.
Ahman Green, man. It's our favorite. Look at this.
Oh, right. Get on the sidewalk. As they
This
say,
is
get on the
all, hey
sidewalk.
man, that is all you can eat when you're playing man free. If one of these linemen can pick up Vander Esch, your number 55, because look at the rush that they're going to put on here. Everybody's coming up field. If one of these linemen can get on Vander Esch, because Vander Esch is man on that tight end or that running back, depending on what screen you're running.
Yep.
If you can get him and the offensive line communicates and knows, like, dude, they're in man free. Don't forget they're in man free. Look for that linebacker. First guy out. Don't worry about the cornerback. He's not going to be there. This isn't cover two, right? They're turning and running. All those guys are gone. Backs are turned. Ahman is walking into the end zone.
All day. I had plenty of those. It was so fun. Let my lineman get in front of me, lead me to the end zone. Let you guys do that.
And Joe Philbin's at Dallas, man. I just got to. Do you remember Joe Philbin when he got there? He started instituting a screen drill. He was the assistant line coach for the first couple of years we were there.
Yep.
And he started instituting the screen drill, and it was legit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
we did a half line, I think. We did two of them at the same time.
Like we put work in, and and I remember I was down in Miami. He's the head coach, and he goes, "Hey, you remember that screen drill? It worked, didn't it? You know, because we were doing it like we were doing it.
Right.
He was the best, man. Joe's a one of a kind. Okay, we got some under center here. Under center play action pass. Again, that's our guy Diggs up top.
Yep. Watch him. He's reading eyes at the QB right now.
Yeah.
Covering this guy. Oh.
What's he trying to? Yeah,
he's trying.
We're trying to make plays, right? He's trying to read. He's always trying to. They're always these guys. You could tell they watch a ton of tape. You got to break tendency. And can I back this up? Because this is a point I was making earlier in the day.
Yeah.
And I just want to show people what we mean. The Packers oftentimes they get caught running just like a route tree route, meaning that like remember when you were in high school and like a 5 was like a 15-yard come back to the sideline, a 4 is a stick, a 7's a they're running route tree routes. I want you to watch the route on the top of the screen here. This is essentially for us, this is a double move, right?
Yep.
Back out. You're covering zones. So as a defender, he's crossed the numbers. He's going into the middle of the field. He's crossed the hash mark. Oh, shoot, he's going back out. You've committed because he's kind of hit that real estate spot I'm talking about the width of the field.
Yeah.
The receivers hit that real estate spot where like, I can commit now and break on this route. And as soon as they do that, right, because you break tendency, now you're wide open.
Yeah.
This is to me something the Green Bay Packers could, if they have the time to, and they protect him, they can really make hay with these kind of routes because we're just not beating people necessarily down running nines.
And that's what Dallas going to be open to do because of the DBs being a little bit aggressive.
Now watch this guy, man. This Micah Parsons legit.
Oh,
right? There's no way he should be on that hit. There's just no way. There's just no way with a guy who's covered up, gets bypassed by 70 left guard, is not pass rushing at all. Like there's no reason, but he's just that guy. Like you're watching that in film. You're watching that in film. You're just going, dude, how did I get beat right there? Like we're in a phone booth. How did I get beat?
He didn't move his feet, dropped his hands a little bit too much. Or they got knocked down and he dropped them. So that helped him to get Micah past him.
So you see these guys, we got 5. We got everybody across on the line. We got single safety. So Goff makes a check here. And again, we're going empty right here. So again, 5 people out. They've designated their coverage is going to switch on the linebackers. They're going to switch underneath and they just blow coverage. Again, it's just opportunities. The more guys you get out against man coverage, or if they're playing match, the more opportunities you get, the more chances you have to get those quick hitters that turn into big plays because everybody else's backs is turned. And that's a big part of this.
It's huge.
A big part of the success here.
Yep, because then the young receivers, Samari, whoever, Watson, he's healthy, and then Tunyon and the rest of the receiver, Allen, they could use that to their, like I said, to their advantage, and then get something going, with the run and the pass game right there.
I'm gonna try to sell you because you just said you just mentioned Tunyon. The offensive line for the Dallas Cowboys has been playing really well, a lot better than everybody expected, right? And they've actually been like trading out Jason Peters every once in a while at the left guard position, which I think is phenomenal because It's like he's over the hill for a left tackle, but all of a sudden you put him in there, and I think like the first play was in, he destroyed 2 people. They ran like Tony Pollard went out the gate. But the key to their offense, believe it or not, is Dalton Schultz. And
the tight end?
The tight end.
Okay.
He's got like 20 catches. He doesn't have huge numbers, but Dalton Schultz, I'm gonna read these guys out. Jake Ferguson, he's a rookie. Peyton Hendershot, rookie, and then Sean McKeon. They run a lot of 12 personnel, run the ball. These guys they are good blockers. Like they do it in the blocking game, they do it in the passing game. We'll show it. Good. But you think about Noah Brown's having a good year. He's got 25 for 339 and a touchdown. Everybody knows about CeeDee Lamb, 42 for 556 and 3 touchdowns. And Michael Gallup, who's coming off injuries, he's only got 12 for 135 and 1. Dalton Schultz is the heartbeat of this team. I know that sounds crazy, man, but the tight end, the tight end's the glue. Bubba was our glue.
Yeah, it makes sense because the run game is doing what it's doing with Dak, with Ezekiel, with Pollard. And so when the guys are, doing that PAP, then that's usually the first guy that comes open because they're on linebacker because it's run heavy in that personnel. So you got a linebacker that usually cannot keep up with the way tight ends are built these days.
Hey, let's talk about Pollard and Zeke real quick because Zeke's been the guy there. He got the big contract. He's been hurt, but then Tony Pollard comes in, and Tony Pollard's got 81 carries for 506 and 5. He's averaging 6.2 yards per carry. Incredible.
Yes.
Zeke's not doing bad. 4.1 yards per carry. He's got 109. He's got more rushes for less yards. He's got one less touchdown at 4. But Pollard's an explosive guy. Now, something that's interesting about Pollard though is he's never really been a workhorse. Like I don't think he's ever averaged more than like 17 or 18 carries per game.
He hasn't done a whole full season of work, right?
So AG, from you've been this guy. You're an up and coming guy. All of a sudden, you came in. Dorsey was here. You're younger. Dorsey's on the tail end of his career. You're more explosive. What happens? How does the natural what do they start changing the plays to suit you more, or is it just hey, we're running the same stuff? I'm running it better. I'm just going to continue to get more reps. Like, is there a switch that goes over that's like, okay, now it's Pollard's team and we're going to run the game plan around him? Or is it still, because this is really a run first team. Is it still like Zeke starts it, Pollard, we got your special package, or, how do you see that happening?
Yeah, I see it as right now, it's still Zeke's team in terms of run plays that he is catered to, that's been catered to him. And then some of them plays that Pollard can run. But then also we're going to add a little package. I see they do little screen plays. They do little quick tosses to Pollard to use the speed to get to the edge. And then they sometimes use some of the same plays, if not a little bit of different detail of the play to get Ezekiel the same type of leverage on the offensive line, either getting out to the edge or running up the middle where he likes to eat. I say that's more his spot. Is just not having done it a whole lot with him recently.
That dude is explosive though, man. Let me show you what I mean about our guy Dalton Schultz and crew. So first off, when you have that running quarterback option, Dak Prescott's back, right? This kind of stuff is just available. And you see down here, they got a single safety high, they got trips over to the left. And basically, they're looking at this Dalton Schultz on the bottom of the screen for everybody who can't see. And as long as they feel like he can leverage that safety over the top of him, then they're just going to option off the defensive end. I mean, this is a high school play.
Yeah, simple.
Right? Out the gate, option off. These guys can block all the way down the field. They, at the tight end position, and they can make runs. I mean, this is very simple. Can I leverage that guy? Yes or no? I can. We got to play. All you can eat. Right? He's over here doing this thing, right? I think actually that's the play he got hurt, but nonetheless.
He needed to protect himself. He didn't go into contact, right? That was weird. The way he went into contact did not protect himself at all.
We watched this play last week to show how bad the Lions were, but to show again, like
who you got back there, yeah. You got a guy who is dangerous.
You see oh man, I went too far. But you see Schultz here.
Yep, taking this guy out for a walk.
Taking him for a walk, and then on this next play, I highlight him. Like, look what he does to this defense. Like, this is legit. This is a Rob Gronkowski-ish job on a defensive end, a starting defensive end in the league. Throws him on the ground. That's a big.
Oh man!
It's not Kevin
beautiful.
Berry. It's not the U71 package, but this guy can catch passes. Like, this is a real deal, man. I mean, this is a rarity. This is
Yeah.
what you and I are always talking about with Tunyon. Like, oh, if Tunyon could block like this,
And
like
it's not
this.
about strength. It's just about getting your hands in the right place and moving your feet.
It's
That's
leveraging
it.
technique, isn't it?
It's never leveraging technique. It's nothing. You don't have to be strong to do what Schultz is doing because they're almost him and Tunyon are almost built the same in terms of height and weight.
Mm-hmm.
It's just about 1-2 and technique,
It
basically.
really is. Really is. You see that.
Good
You see
run.
the Dallas line. They insert the wide receiver inside. We look here. They got a fullback coming back in motion, and they do just a quick toss. They got their 2 tight ends. They got one on the line of
Pollard.
scrimmage, one backside. Yeah. But you look here, they got a tight end on the right of your screen, and then they have an offset tight end in the B gap behind the guard and the tackle, right? And
Mm-hmm.
these guys now he's taking on Roquan Smith with the Bears. Look at that job he's doing on Roquan Smith, arguably all pro level playing right now, linebacker in the league. I mean, big stuff, man.
Yeah,
That's
get
what
to
I'm
your
talking
body,
about.
get
Like,
to his body.
when you have a guy that can play and block at that level and catch passes, it just makes all the difference in the world. And they play 2 tight ends here in 12 package. And one thing that Joe Philbin's done at every level is like these guys hang on their double teams. So you look at the left guard and the center, they're going to stick on that double team and they're not going to try to release early. You look at the tackle and the tight end. A lot of times this tight end just kind of hands off and tries to go to the next level. No, Joe Philbin, line coach out there. I met Joe Philbin. He was a line coach at Iowa before he got to Green Bay. This is his passion. This is what he does the absolute best. He teaches fundamentals. And these guys are they're not overpowering anybody. Zach Martin's still an all-pro, still one of the best in the game. But across the board, these guys aren't overpowering anybody. They just do things fundamentally right. He doesn't come off his block. It's really that simple.
Nope.
And this is like,
you
watch this tape.
Makes sense. You got hands there, don't take them away because you're moving
You watch
the guy.
this tape and you go to the Packers. It's like, I want you to watch what the same quality or lesser players are doing at your position because they're just following the fundamentals of football, right? And I'm talking about tight end all the way down, all the way across the line. This is just they're executing it at a very, very high level with that specific, like win your double teams idea, right?
Yep.
Again, these big plays are all this. Like, it's just all the same stuff.
They're getting to the second level too. You see Martin make it to the second level after he pushes off.
Watch this double. You got center and left guard double team. Drive. It never comes off. Goes up to the backer, right? Makes the backer come to him. For you as a running back, AG, just tell people from your perspective the difference between I'm double teaming with Mike Flanagan on the defensive tackle, and I don't ever come off, and we're kind of walling that linebacker off for you.
Yep.
Versus he detaches, all of a sudden you got 2 single blocks. What's the difference for you?
The difference is that I know that you basically created 5 to 6 yards for me, and now that linebacker can't see me. So if I make whatever move I make within a phone booth, I'm gonna outrun him, and then he's gonna have to really make extra effort to get to the tackle because now y'all blocked them off, and then when y'all go to the single, then it becomes a one-on-one, and I know y'all gonna win that, and then that's just more people that's not able to tackle me to get hands out there to try to strip the ball or just get me to the ground. So then that's a problem. When you got running backs that have acceleration, that understand run fence to acceleration. Get that run fit, then accelerate through the hole very fast. So that's what I see.
Yeah, perfect. And like the way, just like the very basic caveman way of thinking about it is the way that linemen think about it is, if we can give you 1 half step anywhere because they have to hesitate because they're having to engage us, that's all you ever needed. And this is the easiest way where they can't attack us. They kind of have to wait and see what happens. So we got the slot look here. And we're showing this because when you go under center, sorry, let me go back there real quick. They do some under center stuff here. And this is what, we've been talking about this from our perspective, what we'd love to see, but this is what our Packers D is going to have to deal with. You got that run game, and they do under center, they do from shotgun, they move bodies from that run game. Like, all of a sudden, this timing works out really well. When you go under center play action pass, you get to the top of your drop from a quarterback's perspective, and you got a guy like CeeDee Lamb being able to come through.
Yeah,
that's a big deal.
Able to create separation, get away from the DB, got that play action because his run game is respected now. It's set up. So yeah, you got that. You make that a problem.
And the only thing I wanted to show here, AG, is like, Dak Prescott. I think I'm a huge Dak Prescott fan.
Me
Like
too.
I think he's a hard worker, and I think he's a really, really good leader. I think he's a talented guy too. I don't know if he's top 10, is he top 12? I don't know. But I
Right.
think I would love to play for Dak Prescott. But this is a big time throw, man.
It is.
Like that's
Two
like
steps.
big time
Yeah,
throw on the run. That's a big deal.
yeah, 2 steps out of play action, fake and with pressure on you, somebody on your leg, and get it out of there quick and fast and on point,
Now
accurate.
this is why this is the other part of why I think Dalton Schultz is the key to this offense. Not only does he do such a great job in the run game, we know he can catch the ball if he's detached. Attached tight end here. They show that safety is going to come up here at the bottom of the line. So now we know that he's got leverage on the backer who's going to be covering man on man. Do quick run fake, easy pass, 15-yard explosive play. Like this stuff is, if you have this in your toolbox, and again, I'm showing the guard because they're going to pull and show action. Why are they showing action? Because that split second that number 34 has to look, he's too late. It's just that. If we free release this, 34 is right on him, right? But they pull that guard, they show the action, and they're too late. This is what the Green Bay Packers at the linebacker position are really going to have to look for. And AG, I just wanted to set this up because this is how they started the last week, right? First quarter of the game, I think it's the second series. They start off under center, run the ball, great double team up top. We'll show it, right? First down run, explosive play on the ground. 12 personnel. Watch these guys again playing against Roquan and company. Great job. Okay, a couple of those guys are rookies going in there making those plays at the tight end position.
Yeah.
We go under center again. Now we got the play action pass. And they do a great job of flooding everybody out of there because it's play action. They can get Pollard out in the flat. Another explosive play. A couple plays later, going back to the tight end, man, because I just think it's a big deal. Like that cutoff, they're playing on their their side of the line of scrimmage, right? Like it's
running
like
back doesn't get touched till second level.
You don't have to make the cut early, right?
Nope, it's there.
You can get your pads downhill. This stuff is gold if you're an offensive lineman running back. And then the last play I wanted to show here is like you got a Dak Prescott. They were number one in the league in offense. He's been last year. This year he's been hurt, but this is the stuff he can still do. That is the option with the keep. And guess who's leading them through? Their tight end, of course, because this is just how the play's working out. But these guys are the real deal, man. Like this is going to be a tough football game because they can attack you in a bunch of different ways. They have weapons, but most importantly, like they have that glue position that I think, every time I look at this offense, people are saying, well, we're not explosive enough. We don't have this. I'm always like, man, but for me, we need the Dalton Schultz. Like we need that guy who really solidifies the run game in that personnel package so we can run any package we want. But then also is a threat in the field so we can stretch the defense. We can take advantage of those play action passes for the linebackers. Like we can take advantage of all that stuff. And, Pennington's coming off an ACL. He's still got some work to do in the run game. Like it's not like the guy's not on the roster necessarily, but we're just not where they are. And you kind of see it where you get. It's like it's going to be a tough game this weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be real tough. It's going to be brutal. Yep. And it's not cold. It's going to be warm. It's interesting.
That makes it even worse, right? Do you think they're gonna cheer or boo McCarthy?
Good question. Way the season's going, they might cheer him.
I think they should cheer him.
I think they should. I think they will too.
It's not like he asked for a trade. They fired him.
No, exactly. They fired him, right? Yeah, I think they're gonna cheer him. I think Packer fans are saying, yeah, he got a street right now within a mile. Yep, within a mile of the stadium, McCarthy's way. So yeah, he gonna get some cheers. It might be a few boos.
I would kind of hope he gets. They boo the Cowboys, they cheer him when he gets announced. I think I think that's fair.
Yeah,
you brought a championship to this team. I know that everybody now is saying, well, it's like I tell you what. Did you find it? I don't know if you saw the Aaron Rodgers. Hey, he's kind of speaking very cordially about his time with Mike and how he thinks a lot more of it now in retrospect. And Obviously some of that's just sentimental. I don't know if any of it's a hidden message, a dig. I don't think so. I just think he was being sentimental. But it was certainly notable.
Oh yeah. All right.
Keys to the game, bud. I got 3.
We're here.
Packers defense. They like to establish the run on play action pass off. We just showed it. So I think we are physically able to take away the run threat, right, and make them one-dimensional. But I think we're going to have to do it. You by the third quarter, the Dallas Cowboys have to be a one-dimensional team. Whether that's because we're up a lot, or whether that's because we've just stopped their ability to run the ball and we forced them into a shotgun pass team. Like that is a huge key to this game on defense. Advantages offensively. They play super aggressive, both up the field from their pass rush, but also the way they play man press cover 1. So can we take advantage with those double moves? Can we take advantage with the screen game? Can we take advantage with the play action game? Like these are all like viable, legitimate opportunities, but we're going to have to be able to obviously protect the football. And the thing I wrote on these notes is I think this is a real gut check for the coaching staff in a number of ways. When you get out of a game like you just lost to the Lions, the worst ranked defense in the league, and you score 9 points, and it doesn't look like you're prepared to play well.
Correct.
That's what that honestly, if we're just calling it what it is, like defensively, I don't necessarily think that's an issue. I know that we had some miscommunication we talked about on some of the touchdowns, but you allow 15 points, you really net out less than that if you think about the fact that Alexander gave him the ball in the 23 or the 25-yard line. That's at least a 3-point turn if we don't throw the pick the next play. So they played at a high level. They played good enough to win. But offensively, from a receiver position, that thing comes out about the Grumleys and the skate and all that. You start going, okay, it's time to prepare better.
That's it.
Whatever that looks like. I know what that looks like to you. I have an idea what it looks like to our team, our time there. What does it look like to these guys? I don't know, but they got to start preparing better. And for me, preparation, it's easy for us to say that's up to the players. And for you and I, we take that personal responsibility seriously.
Oh, yeah.
But when you're in a team setting, the coaching staff they have to be just fanatical this week about making sure that every I is dotted and every T is crossed.
100%, because they've been exposed pretty much. So my keys to the game, starting with the defense, stop the run, because that's been something that Dallas is very good at. We just watched it breaking down film with the tight ends doing their job and the play action off of that. Contain the pass. I say you're not going to stop it. You got guys like CeeDee Lamb running around the field, and you got Schultz that gets open and can make things happen. So just contain it, and then limit the explosive plays defensively, because that is what has gotten this team beat, or any team beat, but this team beat, particularly in the last 5 losses here. And then offense right there, get in rhythm, establish the run game first, get the play action going, then, regardless of, we know we're going to most likely have AJ and Kalen running the ball. So what? Those are your guys. You got to roll with them and get that offensive line some confidence to get the ball up the field before you go into, different packages of pass plays. Let's get the run set up first, because we know that's going to make it his bread and butter. And then just play with effort and pride. We saw a little bit in the Buffalo game. It was a little chatty and all that. Do that again, but just do it within yourself, and not having the team poke you out, point you out. Get yourself hyped up to play ball, and then play and execute at a high level. Do that for players individually, and then we probably see a really good game out there on Sunday.
I'm just trying to check because I wasn't sure. Is Aaron Jones, is he officially out, or are they still?
I think he's day to day. I think he's day to day right now.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be tough, man. If he's not in there, that's gonna be. I mean, it's gonna be a bad day.
Yeah, he has I think it's an ankle. They had him up here listed.
You just think about.
Yeah, it's an ankle. So he's been limited. He's been limited capacity Wednesday. That was yesterday. So he did practice, just limited practice. So yeah, we don't know 100%. So that's good. That's real good from what I saw with a boot. Early readings and from the game at the Lions was a boot, which is not good. No. And then now he did practice. He just was limited capacity. So that's 100% good news right there, to know that he's going to be in the backfield along with AJ and then Kalen. He's going to probably now be off the rotating in from special teams and in the offensive run plays.
The last thing I'll be interested in seeing is, for my own edification, is are they going to keep doing this rotation at the right guard position with JRJ and Zach Tom?
Yeah,
especially with Bakhtiari being in this situation we talked about on Monday, that's so difficult right now because he's such a good player when he's healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Do you need to just give Tom all the reps at left tackle, all week, and then
I believe
just
so, man. You gotta let him go. You just gotta let up guys. Certain positions, running back is one. I believe offensive line is that other position. You can't just keep rotating out because the guy doesn't get in rhythm, doesn't get in his, coming out
especially
his
a rookie
stance.
too, right?
Right. And then you got a young guy too, where you get your punch down and you get your footwork down and you get your areas between the tackle to your right and the center to your left. You get all that. Okay, I feel good. So I know where these guys, I know where I could put my hand here and when we do this. And so yeah, I think you got don't do the rotation thing and let him play.
How much sleep do you think? Well, I don't want to say it that way, but like if Michael Parsons is looking at the depth and then he goes, oh, Bakhtiari's out.
Oh yeah, he's
Oh,
he's
you know
gonna
what I
sleep
mean? Like,
good.
yeah, he's like, oh, Zach Tom, rookie
Oh,
against me this week. It's Marcus Lawrence. All these guys just like, there's some good. I think they're up for it. Like, I think they're game for it. Don't get me wrong. I
yeah,
think it's more of a problem when they start moving the guys around. All of a sudden, you snap count. He just said hike, and the guys already in the B gap, knocking
that
out the
too.
guard. Like,
Correct.
it's problems, but. Man, oh man, +5,
Yeah,
baby. Do you want to do some of these?
+5.
Do you want to do some of these weekends games?
Yeah, we sure can. Hold on, let
Okay,
me
man.
get you some of these scores up here.
Let me give you this Thursday. Well, tonight.
Yeah,
Tonight
tonight.
we got the Falcons Panthers. I don't know if anybody cares, but 2.5 to the Falcons. Let's just assume the Falcons are going to win that game. I mean, let's be
Yeah,
honest.
they've
Who
been playing
cares?
good ball. It's just interesting. NFC South is that league is like the
Dumpster
AFC
fire.
East. It was like the AFC East last couple years.
Yeah.
So AFC South is now the AFC East, not good. But yeah, they've been playing good ball. Mariota is kind of resurrected his career,
Yeah.
there in ATL, so he's doing good. So yeah, I've definitely taken that spread too, at 2.5 because they've been still playing good football, even though it's not 100% 4 quarters sometimes. But Panthers figure out a way. They had a way against the Saints, but they blew that away by celebrating and throwing the helmet, and you know what happened there.
The Seattle Seahawks are underdogs against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Germany this weekend. How?
I don't know. I saw
mean,
that earlier
should we
today and
take
was
a loan
surprised, a
out
little
right now and
surprised.
just bet everything we have on that? Like that makes no sense to me.
Nah,
Did
Geno's playing good. Defense playing good for Seahawks. So
the Bucks are. I mean, that game they won. The Rams lost that game as much as the Bucks won it last week. They didn't play well.
exactly. I say the only thing that probably go against the Seahawks is the plane ride. Because they're going from
Yeah.
the Pacific Northwest. Unless they went through the other way, they went to Japan, like Eastern,
No, they
and
go
go
over to
west.
North Pole. When you go over to North Pole.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. I said that's the only thing I could say.
You're thinking of it from a flat map. They go over.
Yeah,
They go
I
over
was
the
thinking
pole.
from a flat map. Yep, you're right. Yeah.
Boy, it's a long trip.
I was like, it is though.
What do you got? What do you got? Let's see. Chiefs, Jaguars, Chiefs.
Chiefs all day.
Yeah. Okay. Detroit,
Pat Mahomes
Chicago.
playing Michael Jordan level right now.
Detroit, Chicago is a good game, man. Justin Fields is playing well. It's a 3-point game for Chicago at home.
Yep.
The Lions are, we saw what they are last week. I don't know why. It'll be forever perplexing how we played so poorly against their defense. But Justin Fields is playing at a much higher level. It looks like once they let him sort of become part of the running game as
They got
well,
him comfortable. They got him
do it a lot
comfortable
better.
at his position. That's what they did. They start running plays where he's actually running and throwing. So that I think he got comfortable. Now he's blooming. He's blooming into the quarterback he can be.
Dolphins, Browns.
So Bears there for me.
Yeah, Dolphins, Brown. I'm with you. Dolphins, Browns. Dolphins by 3.5 at home.
I'll take that. I'll take that 3.5 on Dolphins.
Easy.
It just they got to watch out. I say Dolphins got to watch out. They get Nick Chubb going and Kareem Hunt because he's still there. He was on the chain block but did not get traded. But they get that run going, then it'd be a problem. But I think with Miami's defense and Tua doing his job with the receivers Waddle and Hill.
Have you really sat and watched any Miami offense?
Not quite yet. I only caught highlights. Only
Here's
highlights.
the thing, because everyone's talking about how, maybe Tyreek Hill's an MVP candidate, and then everyone's like, no, it's Tua. And then, Tua's out and they don't play as well. Dude,
right.
Tua's got crazy accuracy, no question about it. Quick release, like smart player. Okay. Tua Tagovailoa, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are so wide open that he underthrows passes.
I've seen that.
It doesn't matter. Like Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are literally like playing Tecmo Bowl against everybody else. Like his passes, I watched the tape. I can't remember. I've watched a couple of them, but I remember the last time I watched, they're missing. I mean, like on any other team, it's picks, incompletions, underthrows, and dude, because he doesn't have a great arm, he's super accurate. but he doesn't have a great arm. But dude, they're just jumping up and taking the ball away from people. They'll be running by themselves like there's nobody else on the screen.
Yeah.
It's like they're literally like, everybody just fell over and died. Like it is crazy what they are. It's crazy what Mike McDaniel's offense combined with the speed that they have. Raheem Mostert's another one.
Yep, it's a problem.
Is not a great tight end, but as far as like a tall slot receiver, gets open. And then Waddle and those, it's crazy what they're doing to defenses, man.
If I get a chance to watch that, I will watch it this weekekend for sure.
Minnesota, Buffalo by 3.5. Josh Allen looks like he won't play with that UCL injury.
Yes.
This is a noon game that they didn't think was going to be a big game. This is a big game all of a sudden with Minnesota being a 6 or 7-1 right now.
Yeah. And was it Case Keenum is Josh Allen's backup there? And yeah, I would say I'm going Vikings. They've been playing good football. Defense is playing good.
I can't argue with you, but Buffalo.
I know, but I like Buffalo's defense. Defense still, they got Vaughn, and they're doing their job. They haven't lost anybody. They haven't lost. lost a few injuries, but they're just playing playing strong though. That's a coin toss for me. It's a tough.
The problem is the Bills, like whatever, if it's 25 or 35 touchdowns, whatever they've scored, like all but 2 of them have been accounted for by Josh Allen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what runner pass. So it's hard, but Buffalo's a tough place to play. I think their team is better than Minnesota's team, but Josh Allen's a huge maker.
That I agree with. Yep.
Okay, we got Tennessee, Denver. I don't think anybody cares about. Okay, we got Chargers, San Francisco. Oh, here we go. Chargers, 49ers. 49ers by 7 at home.
Yeah.
What happened to the Dude, I thought the Chargers were going to be like the team this year.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert. Like, what happened to those
Cleo
guys?
Mack.
Is it that big of it? Joey Bosa, for my money, Joey Bosa was the best defensive pass rush interior or lineman that I had seen playing this year until he got hurt. Because, I watched film on all these. Like, he was the best guy that I had seen playing. I always take Aaron Donald out of the picture. Like, he's on a different level. Yeah, everybody but Aaron Donald. Joey Bosa was the best guy I'd seen play this year before he got hurt. Maybe he's that big of a difference maker, dude. And then Rashawn Slater at left tackle obviously was one of the better young guys at his position. But those guys got hurt the same week, and they have just been not good since then.
It's been a struggle. Oh, it makes sense. It makes sense. I like the 49ers defense, and they're at home. And Kyle is getting that team ready to go offensively and defensively. So I like that spread. You like that spread at 7?
Yep. Yeah, I think you're right, man. You always think Justin Herbert's going to kind of show, and it's the night game.
Yeah, and
there's no reason that you're wrong. I can't think of a reason to argue against you.
Right.
Honestly. All right, last one. Philly, Washington. Philly's by 11.
Yeah.
I think this is a no-brainer, but I had to ask. And Heineke, you're always rooting for Heineke, but it's like that Philly offense right now looks like it's just, it's like a tidal wave, man. It just keeps coming.
I mean, one thing we'll get out of the Commanders, they're going to play hard. It's a rival game. It's a divisional game. They're going to play tough. But the way you watch Philly last game, the Sunday night game, or was it Monday night game they were on, even though the game was tight, they just kind of, we got time and let's turn it on. Let's create a turnover. They did it. Let's get another touchdown. Yeah, against the Texans. Let's create a turnover. We did. Boom. There's the turnover. Let's get up by 14, and then we're going to win. It was just like they knew once we execute the right way, which they stymied Houston's first half, first quarter push. You got all that enthusiasm coming.
Damian Pierce was out there running. That kid,
he runs great.
He's really good.
He's a nice running back.
Hargraves came in the second, third quarter. Their D tackle across from Fletcher Cox. Fletcher's always Fletcher Cox. He's a great player.
Yeah.
Hargraves just destroyed their interior offensive line. And then, like you said,
97. Was it 97?
97. Dude, here's something that's crazy. Jason Kelce has been I feel like he's been the center for the Eagles since like 1980. Like he's got the big beard, dude. He's the best center in football right now.
Yeah, I like him.
He's nice. Dude, watch. He's unbelievable. He's still so good. And his center of gravity, the way that he can attack people and like
he climbs to the second level. They showed him
he does everything
where he pulled out pulled out plays where he came out from center, hiked the ball, and then getting in front of the running back and leading them down the field. It's like,
and he's violent. He checks people on loopers, man. He checks their whole card, man. He's violent. I love watching that guy. Yep. I love that whole line. They got. Their left guard's going to be – he should be all pro this year. Malott is great. Lane Johnson's unbelievable. I mean, They're just good all over. Dude. They're fun to watch.
Very good.
You would have had 2,000 yards every year with those guys. Yeah, you
Appreciate
were
you
in
there.
front of that chump change shit line that you had.
Oh Lord. No.
All right.
No, very good guys.
AG, tell everybody where they can find you, bud.
Hey man, you can find me at Ahman Green 30 on Twitter and Instagram, and Gamers Lounge is on TikTok at Ahman Green's Gamers Lounge. Check out the post there, and the show is live on Wednesdays at 11 a.m. That's where you can find me. What about yourself, Mike?
All right, I'm Mike Wahle 68 on Twitter, Process to Perform on Instagram. You can find this show anywhere you get your podcasts. If you want to watch the video stuff, go to go to YouTube. Check out our YouTube channel, Process to Perform. YouTube /Process to Perform. We'll send out the links. AG, be an interesting weekend. We'll have to we'll have fun to diagnose in this game as it plays out, I'm sure. But I guess the big prop bet is whether or not they root for they cheer or boo Mike McCarthy. That'll be right now. That's like the best thing going.
We'll find out. It's gonna be a mixture. I know it's gonna be 100% mixture. There'll be a few boos and yays for him, some nays.
All right, my man. We'll see you.
Peace out.